ice hockey scene. And the road to ruin, we look at how one enterprising company is beating Britain's transport blues. Hello, and welcome to the Friday Documentary, a new showcase of documentaries portraying diversity of life here in the Northeast. First tonight, the film you're about to see, Sasha Joins the Wasps, began life in a very different form. It was to be the remarkable story of a family whose links with the increasingly popular sport of ice hockey span 4 generations, the Smith family and their team, the Durham Wasps. But then came the unexpected news, just days away from the start of our filming, that the first Russian ever to play in Britain was coming to play, in fact, for the Durham Wasps. The film's director seized upon this chance happening and immediately rebuilt the shooting of the film to include the Russian and his impact during a momentous week, not only for Durham, but for the Russian people. This is also a story of commitment, a commitment that transcends national and cultural differences. Here we have the two together, the Smiths of Durham City and their 50 years of ice rinks and playing ice hockey, and Alexander Kozevnikov, better known as Sasha, the Russian who comes in from the cold to help the Wasps win the most cherished of cups.
Very proud of the city. I love the castle, I love the cathedral. It's a beautiful little city, and to me I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but Durham.
The Wasps are part and parcel of the city now. A lot of people refer to the city as being the castle, cathedral and the Wasps. I wouldn't agree that that was the best order, but that's how they put it over.
We've been brought up with the rink all my life, and it's not so much a job, it's more a way of life. You know, the whole family is totally involved in what happens in the rink. With having a house built into the ice rink anyhow, it means that, you know, from getting up to going to bed, everything you do is motivated by what's happening in the rink or just outside the rink.
I'm fourth in the family tree. Icy Smith, who established the business here in the northeast, he was my great-grandfather. Ice hockey wasn't anywhere as big as it was now, and I think during that time, you know, when I was very young, I used to muck in then and do more than what most people would do if they were going out to work. And I'm talking about being from, say, 7, 8, 9-year-old.
Well, this is my grandfather, Mr. John Frederick James Smith, who was more popularly known as Icy Smith. And what he is doing in this picture is showing his team, the Wasps, how they should be playing ice hockey. Perhaps he was a little bit eccentric in certain things in his manner, He's a little bit eccentric. Like most eccentrics of the age, or of any age, you always find that they're usually the people who've got the get up and go and the brains to get things done. This one is my brother Bill, who was rather keen on barrel jumping, and in fact he was a tremendously good barrel jumper. And this is my three sisters, Alison and Agnes, who had the nerve to kneel and allow him to jump over the top of them. She was 10 consecutive years Durham champion and one of the top skaters in Britain.
My daughter Victoria, she'll be, I would think another 6 or 7 months and she'll be on the ice. I was basically skating from 18 months, 2-year-old, and I would like to think I could get her on the ice at the same time. She's been toddling around, you know, since she was 9.5 months, so she's pretty firm on her feet now. But it's the best time for children to learn. The team itself, not just the spectators, but the team itself is very family orientated. Apart from the first line, which are all imports, the second line are all brothers, 3 brothers, the Johnson brothers. The third line at the moment are all cousins, all Smiths. 90% of the players here are from Durham anyway, and I think that's why there's a lot more razzmatazz about the game here than maybe in other places, because people are aware of the fact that it's Durham lads that are actually out there playing for Durham City.
The turbine saves us somewhere in the region of 55 to 60,000 pounds per year. Like a lot of businesses, you have your ups and you have your downs, and if it hadn't been for the fact that in some of our leaner years, if it wasn't for the fact that we were having free electricity, we could have possibly gone out of business.
Tell you what you're doing, man. You're not the doctor.
You are the boss.
Please, man.
Nice, please.
Kenny.
Hello, Durham Ice Rink. Can I help you? Paul, there's someone from the Russian sports people on the line.
Hello? You speak English? I'm ringing about Alexander Kozyevnikov. I'm looking for his release. Well, when could you pass it through to the right department, you see? We're running out of time over here. Hello, is that Soviet Intersport, Moscow? Do you speak English? I'd like to speak to Alexander Zuev, the chairman, Alexander Zuev, but we still haven't received a fax. Could you do that immediately and get back to me? Hello, is that Soviet Intersport, Moscow? Hello, is that Soviet Intersport, Moscow? Hello, is that Soviet Intersport? The signing of the above-named player represents a significant first for British ice hockey. Kozyevnikov is the first Soviet international ice hockey player to come to this country. His playing pedigree is impeccable, both as a star performer with his club team in Moscow and with the USSR Olympic team, gold medal winners in Calgary 1988. His tremendous performances at these levels make him arguably the most exciting player in the history of our sport, and the BIHA see his signing as of vast importance both as a culture and sporting event.
Right, that's lovely, right. Straight on the camera for me, that's good. And again. One more. Lovely. Oh, damn, I knew I'd forget something, right. And again, last one coming up.
My grandfather started the business. He was known as Icy Smith. He built the rink over at Durham, 40-something years ago, shortly after the war. Ice hockey at Durham at that time did very, very well, and it was the success of ice hockey at Durham which provided the funds for the building of the Whitley Bay Ice Rink. The family's been involved for so long. It's become a tradition in the family for us to carry on and keep doing ice skating and ice hockey and all the ice-related activities. The imports have become a very, very important factor in the team. The imports are the stars of the team. They've come from their own countries where the level of ice hockey is far greater than that in England. When they come across here, they're very, very exciting for the crowd to watch and help develop the talents and skills of the local British lads.
I've been playing ice hockey for about 21 years now. I started when I was like 5, and you know, year after year I kept playing, and now I'm 26 and I'm still playing. When things are going well, it's like anything. When you're on top of your game, the team's playing well, you're playing well, it's easier to cope with things. But when you're having a hard time, the team's not doing well, you're struggling a bit. You get a little homesick and you wish, well, you know, maybe, you know, I should be doing something else. But then, as we said before, it's part of our job that we accept being away from home for 7 or 8 months out of a year. It's part of the job. We have to accept it, get on with it, and put it all behind us, and just keep working hard.
The big barrier I feel when I come in, especially in England, is I'm French and Chris too, and we both try to learn the language. When I came here last year, I can speak at all, you know. So that's for me. Sometimes when I speak English 24 hours a day, that's the big barrier. Sometimes my head go like this all the time.
I've been 3 times in France, Switzerland, Italy, those places, traveling with the hockey teams, but it's first time like leaving home and going hockey like that's the first time.
He's got it as a job, I've got it as a hobby. I try and fit it in with my work as best I can, and that the high I get out of it is when we go out there in front of all them people and see all them smiling faces, and it's nothing more you can ask for. I drive a heavy goods wagon for a local timber firm. I find it quite hard driving all day and coming home and having to get on the ice just when you're feeling ready for bed. But that's a step you have to take, and that's my hobby, so I've got to do it, and if you don't do it, you don't get any better.
Я себе не представляю вне хоккея. Хотя у меня много травм, я уже, в принципе, могу считаться инвалидом. Я не могу просто представить, что я закончить играть. Я очень так люблю хоккей, что даже представить об этом.
Round the circle, get the pass, take it over, pass it to him, get it back, shoot on the net, move over here.
George Patanusak, the coach, he played in the league in Prague, in Czechoslovakia, and basically when the Russians marched in 1968, he decided to march out, and he went to Holland. He went over there, got all his papers and everything through, and played as an imported player over in Holland. He arrived across here, liked it, and he's moved his family across here, lock, stock and barrel.
Alex is coming off the boards, and I'm just giving it to one side or the other and then following up the play.
Slow.
We'll start slow.
Full throw ahead.
Okay, so Sasha has to come back, and then right in. And then you just shake it.
I don't think there's any hard feelings there, certainly not between Alexander and George. When we first mentioned bringing a Russian across, he was the first to say yes, go for it, especially when he saw Alexander's pedigree.
Русский стиль, он более личный, а канадский, он более жесткий и прямолинейный. Ну, это по отношению к русскому хоккею. А так, конечно, у них сильный хоккей. И просто разница в том, что у них своеобразное понятие стиля для зрителей игры, а у нас более технический. Я не думаю, что трудно привыкать, потому что если играют люди, понимающие хоккей и живущие хоккеем, то язык быстро можно найти. Потому что сейчас уже пример канадцев, что они берут из русского хоккея много, а русские берут у канадского. Ну, как они мотивируют, что они вложили в меня очень много денег. Хотя мы знаем, что Госкомспорт никаких денег не вкладывает, он все время получает за игры клуба за границей, на турнирах. Мое участие, например, в сборной команде на турнирах получает большие деньги они. Я приехал сюда и получаю ту же самую зарплату стандартную. 344 инвалютных рублей. Это в месяц 400 фунтов. Конечно, это деньги уходят, в принципе, если двое детей, то это уходит, в принципе, только на питание. И никаких уже культурных мероприятиях, там, сходить в кино или в ресторан пообедать, или даже в театр сходить просто. Ну, просто посмотреть это уже невозможно.
The weekend match against Fife, I just had to the boards with Rick Ferrer, Fife's import, and he just kicked my feet from under me, and I just went, you know, head over heels, and then he checked me up against the boards, and I just landed on my head and my shoulder, partially dislocated my shoulder, and badly damaging the ligaments just on the top of the shoulder. So, you know, that put me out of the Castle Eden Cup, unfortunately. I've had a couple of dislocated shoulders, ligament trouble with both legs, a broken leg 2 seasons ago.
What's the problem, Hilton? Fine, that's excellent. You just keep smiling. You're going to win. Take it easy. Right. There's always one or two slight nerves. It's my team, and it's very important that they get through. It's business as well, but it's much bigger than just a business. Sports like that. You want your lads to do well.
Certainly our supporters will cheer for that. I hope so. It'd be nice for Melbourne to have Whitby supporters on Durham's side. Yeah, look at that, look at that. I don't see how he wants to make a break.
Come on, all the way.
Come on.
Go on, all the way. Go!
They're not just wanting to win the game, they also want to win the fight as well.
What do you think? Send them all home, eh?
Sacrilege.
What would you say was exciting about this game? You can't think of anything. Fights? And that big drum?
Oh, that drum.
I think it's because there's no hassle, it goes great. There's no fights, there's no riots. Nothing smashed up.
Well, we're very sorry to deprive you.
It wasn't me, it was this gentleman here, he did. Oh, shut up and go home and cry, man. Go home and cry. Oh, shut up and get away home.
Well, hopefully Durham will win tomorrow night. You know, it would be nice, but I mean, it's going to be a good game, purely and simply because Cleveland are having a good season at the moment. You know, they're second in the first division at the moment.
Well, then we're going to stuff them out of sight.
So
Never mind
them
about
out of sight.
It's better.
Нас воспитывали, думаю, что запах загнивает, и скоро он вообще загниет. Но, как сказал у нас один, я забыл фамилию человека, ну, известный у нас человек, юморист, съездивший за границу в ФРГ, кажется, сказал, что, говорит, да, они, говорит, загнивают, но, говорит, ну, запах такой, говорит, приятный.
Спортсмены, в принципе, далекие люди от политики. И когда я начал читать вот сейчас «Архипелаг», «ГУЛАГ», когда начал перечитывать полностью, и так, об этом начал задумываться года 2 назад вообще-то, в принципе, когда пришел Горбачев, и когда это все уже пошло уже досконально. Раньше информация была про эти времена очень маленькая. И, как правило, народ не знал. Это просто ошарашивающе, что за эти 3-4-2 года последних страшное впечатление. Очень страшно. Так свой народ уничтожать, это не знаю, это слово такое нет.
Get back in the queue. Are you Durham get baked?
Let's go.
Wrong road.
What?
Смотря в какой обстановке и с кем играешь. Когда проигрываешь, у меня очень большая обида на себя. Или если когда не могу забить или что-то. Я не люблю проигрывать. Потому что нас с детства учат, что ты должен выигрывать, только выигрывать. И я сам, ну, с детства к этому рос, у меня очень большая злость становится. Или начинаю бегать, или начинаю врезаться в кого-нибудь. Ну, не люблю проигрывать.
They're not playing as a team. They're not playing a team at all, you know. They're not playing the Russian at all in the line. The two Canadians playing them out all together, you know.
Why do you think that is?
No, I don't know. It just doesn't. Just to me, it just doesn't look like they're playing together, you know. Probably they've got a chance to come back. You know, they're still good. They'll come back.
I feel a wee bit sorry for him at the moment. I feel he's playing the way he's been brought up to play in Russia. Get the puck, pass it, get it back and score goals. Unfortunately, he's not receiving as many passes as he's giving. And I think he's becoming very frustrated. I think he's got something which we've never seen in this country. And that is the ability to handle the stick as well as he does and move at the speed that he does.
set boys on the big occasion.
Well, they've had their moments. 85 had a silver in the A. Not to be counted out. I would question their depth. Can they go all the way with the likes of the Russians?